And good evening, everybody, and welcome here to Texas Motor Speedway as we get ready here for Chase Race number 8. You heard right, number 8. We are that close to the end of the season. Here of Season 6 of the NNSCRA Mobil1 Cup Series. This is our last time of Speedway racing. We are at Texas Motor Speedway. Next week we head to Talladega. Next week we head to Zengultis. 2 restrictor plate tracks where basically anything can happen and you never know who is going to come out on top. So here tonight, it's the last opportunity for these drivers to show off their speedway skills here in Season 6 before we head to our 1-2 punch to finish out this, what's been absolutely an incredible season. We are getting ready for the running of the O'Reilly Auto Parts 300 here tonight at Texas Motor Speedway. And our point standings have really spread themselves out, but there still are some drivers that are in contention for the championship. James McCloud comes in as the current points leader after he was able to somehow, some way survive last week at Indianapolis. He comes in with a 20-point advantage over Austin LaPlante, a 40-point advantage over James Silverfox, and a 46-point advantage over four-time winner this season, Sean Galligan. Everybody else tonight is going to have to use Texas Motor Speedway to either have those top guns have trouble tonight or be able to have really good runs to get themselves back mathematically back up in the title hunt. Those drivers include Dylan Young, Danny Wells, Emilio Navarrete, last week's winner, who's now a 3-time winner, Dylan Poteet, Megan Atkins, and Jordan Hester. Few drivers that may be already mathematically eliminated from the championship. Trent Dunham, Joshua Collard, and Sean Henley are more than 100 points back from James McCloud. Although tonight we are not concentrating as much on that as we are on Texas Motor Speedway and tonight's event. An event that I think is going to be very similar to our Truck Series race where fuel strategy is going to come into play. Charles Jackson sits on the pole position for this evening's race. He went to victory lane only one time so far this season. That was back at the restrictor plate track of Daytona. He'd love to give himself some momentum heading into 2 back-to-back restrictor plate tracks of Talladega and Zengultis in the next 2 weeks. Alongside of him, chaser that has yet to go to victory lane this season, Megan Atkins in the 1. Yet another good, stellar qualifying position for the guy roofing Chevy Camaro. We'll see what she can do here tonight, as we know that Chris Dollerton calls Texas Motor Speedway his home track. Megan Atkins, I believe, does the same. If she could win in front of her home fans, how big would that be for her first career win? Jake Rogers, he'll line up in position number 3. Now we know Jake Rogers had a pretty good run a couple weeks ago at Lime Rock. We'll see what he can do here tonight at Texas. Alongside of him, Wolfgang Mason in the 82, trying to go to victory lane for the 3rd time this season. And then it looks like it's going to be the Trent Dunham machine. I can't make out who that is. I can't make out the number. I'm sorry, folks. I can't make out which number that is rolling off from 5th place. I'm trying to get a little bit of an idea with the way that the numbering is and the sponsorship. I think it may be Trent Dunham, but I'm not certain. I think he's rolling off from the 5th position. Then you got to look for a few more chasers. You look back to row number 4, James Silverfox rolling off from 7th. Danny Wells alongside of him in the 8th position. Looks like James McCloud is back there, and it looks like he's going to be starting somewhere around 18th position for the start of this race. I see Sean Henley near him. I see Sean Galligan near him. So a couple of the drivers there that are going to be trying to battle for the points lead with him are starting pretty close to the 34. But nonetheless, we're going to get these cars rolling off. They're going to complete a couple pace laps, and while they do that, we will show you the starting lineup for this evening's race. It's going to be 34 laps, same as the Truck Series race. I wonder if these drivers were seeing what kind of fuel strategy, what kind of pit strategy was played out in the Truck Series event, and we'll try and utilize the same strategy here tonight to pick up the win here at Texas Motor Speedway. This is the time. If you got the car, you got to get to the front and win this thing. Here's your starting lineup for tonight's O'Reilly Auto Parts 300. ready to go under the green flag, and actually was correct. That was the Trent Dunham machine rolling off from the 5th position. It looked really odd, the numbering on the roof there from that angle, and didn't really look like an 8, but I was correct. So, yay, I don't need glasses just yet. Alright, so Charles Jackson on the pole position for this evening's race. Now, keep in mind that this racetrack really made a big difference in what the point standings looked like for the Oreo Truck Series. It kind of spread them out. Could tonight's race move the Mobil1 Cup Series points closer together? Could it do just the exact opposite? We'll find out as the green flag is out. Megan Atkins appeared to have gotten a slightly better jump there than Charles Jackson did. The only problem is Jackson will have the preferred inside line heading into turn number 1 as Silver Fox sticks Trent Dunham in the middle. He immediately goes to the bottom. Now Silver Fox ended up playing bridesmaid last night to Cody Lamas, finished second in that Oreo Truck Series race. Here with Chase Championship and all that on the line, I'm sure he's not going to be trying to settle for second place tonight. He's going to try and get up there and win this thing. There's Dylan Poteet. I saw him 5th on the inside line, trying to go to victory lane here for the 4th time this season. That would tie him for the most wins in a single season with Sean Galligan, who set the precedent back a couple weeks ago at Lime Rock. As Jake Rogers goes to the lead now, there is James Silverfox right behind him. Cole Daly there, Dylan Poteet, and Tyson Broad, who actually had a nice run in the Truck Series event here last night as well. Silver Fox going to go immediately to the front. You're going to see a lot of jostling and passing back and forth of the lead tonight, I do believe. As now Cole Daly goes to the bottom. He wants to take his turn. Let's jump back to see here this early on where James McCloud is, the points leader coming into this race. We already know that James Silver Fox is having a good run. There is the James McCloud machine up on the high side, and look who's coming on the inside line. Austin LaPlante, who did not have the best of qualifying results here tonight. He's coming up the inside line here. He's got 20 points tonight to make up on James McCloud in order to battle for the points lead. He's got to hope that McCloud encounters some problems here tonight, but as we saw at Indianapolis, it takes a lot more than a wreck to take James McCloud out of the race and out of contention. He ended up getting involved in a wreck all by himself at one point at Indianapolis, ended up having some damage on his car, still came away with a good finish. So James McCloud, one tough son of a gun, as he is currently slipping back through the field, but don't think we've heard the last of him, as now LaPlante will pass him for position. That's going to help him gain a few points in the standings. Back up to the front. Saw Cole Daly was up there. Well, he's just recently slipped back. So too did Dylan Poteet. Now a battle between the two Brits, Sean Galligan and Joshua Collard, going to go down to the inside line. There's Emilio Navarrete too on the inside line. Emilio, I think, actually came away with a rather good finish. At least I know he was running up front last night in the Texas race and in the Truck Series race. Here he comes down to the inside. Emilio Navarrete comes into this race currently. Let's see if I can work the calculator in my head here quickly. I think he's somewhere around 86 points back, I believe. I think he's 86 points out of the top position. But keep in mind, Emilio Navarrete went 2 for 3 at the Talladega race weekend earlier on this season. Next week, we're heading to Talladega Super Speedway. Ralph Mason now the leader. Here comes 22 to his inside, Alex May. Alex May, who went over on his lid last week at Indianapolis. And Dylan Young now going to come down to the bottom of the racetrack. And here comes our winner from the Truck Series race, Cody Lamas. The 55's coming to the inside line now. Picked up his second Truck Series win of the season. And I think it was of his career as well. As he went to victory lane last night, here comes Carson Gum, though. He's going to go down to the bottom of the racetrack, look for the top position off of the Dylan Young machine. Dylan Young, another driver in the Truck Series event last night who was in the chase that actually had a good run. And here comes Cody Lamas, who would love to be able to go at least maybe 2 for 3, maybe go for the weekend sweep here tonight. Who knows? And they're just behind them. There's Bob Jones. Bob Jones, who almost picked up the victory at Indianapolis last week. He's trying to get some redemption here as the caution flag's out. For the first time tonight, the caution flag will wave, and it will be on lap 9 of 34. This caution flag coming out a little bit later than our Truck Series caution did. It looks like someone may have spun on the back straightaway. Who could that have been? Looks like it could have been Deanna Shelton. Not really any damage to the Advocare Chevrolet that I can see. One thing I do see, though, is James McCloud slipped all the way back to 39th place under that green flag run. And it appears Deanna Shelton is not going to have any damage. She's going to be pulled in right behind James Qualls, and I think we got away with a solo car spin here at Texas. So while these drivers are all looking like they're going to come down and make some pit stops here, I don't think anybody's rolling the dice. Everybody's coming down pit road. Nobody wants to have happen what we saw happen with those drivers who decided to stay out in the Truck Series event where they got caught a lap down. So everybody coming down pit road this time. Let's jump back and look at a replay now of what happened. As Carson Gumbs on pit road making a pit stop, we'll see who comes off pit road first when we come back to green. Well, I think the fortunate thing here was this happened near the rear of the field, in the back of the pack. This had happened further up. I'm not sure how well the other drivers have been able to have maneuvered around the spinning Deanna Shelton machine. There you see the contact. Danny Wells gets into the left rear of James Qualls, turns him down Deanna Shelton. Roof flaps engaged, keeps the 3-car on the racetrack, loops it around, mashes the throttle, drives away. That's all she wrote. That was it for the caution. Solo car spin by Deanna Shelton. And that's what puts us under the yellow for the first time tonight here at Texas Motor Speedway. Let's head back now, see what the result was of the pit stops that just took place. Well, getting ready to go back to green on lap 13 of 34. Gives us a total of 22 laps to go here this evening. And surprise, surprise, our Truck Series winner, Cody Lamas, was the first one off pit road, as he will be the leader under this, our first restart of the evening. Carson Gum came on first, came off second, so still a solid pit stop for him. It was a 4-tire stop, I know, for the 77 at least. Anthony McCurry will line up in the 3rd position. Kyle Corbett up here in 4th, and 5th place was Bob Jones. Then it'll be Kenny McCurry in 6th, Ralph Mason 7th. Dylan Young is 8th, George Roken 9th, and Alex May completes the top 10. A little bit of damage there on the hood of the Discount Tire 22. Wonder where he got that from. Joshua Michaels is in 11th, Navarrete in 12th. 13th, Richard Johnson. 14th, Zach Rogers. There's Austin LaPlante in the 15th position. Now, in order for him to be tied with James McCloud for the points lead, McCloud would have to be in 35th place. Let's see where McCloud came off pit road. He's in 38th. So right now, Austin LaPlante, amazingly enough, even with the gap McCloud came in with, is now the new points leader of the Mobil1 Cup Series standings. The question is, though, what will the end result of today's race be? Let's find the rest of our chasers here. Trent Dunham will restart 17th. Joshua Collard in 22nd. Sean Galligan is back in 23rd. Jordan Hester will be in 27th place. Dylan Poteet, last week's winner, in 30th. Megan Atkins in 31st. Sean Henley will restart in 35th. There you see James McCloud in 38th. 39th place, Danny Wells. James Silverfox all the way back in the 41st position. There you see Deanna Shelton after her spin. She continues on. 42 cars took the green flag to start this race. 42 cars take the green flag to get us back underway. Anthony McCurry immediately going to work underneath of Carson Gum. As McCurry will go to the 2nd position, right behind Cody Lamas. Kenny McCurry, his younger brother, going to work there underneath Bob Jones for 4th. But looks like Jones was able to hold him off, at least for now. Things single file up here at the front, at least between the top 5. As Anthony McCurry begins to try and run down Cody Lamas, but now looks like Carson Gum was on the run of Anthony McCurry. He goes back to the inside, looks for the 2nd position as these two continue to jostle for the runner-up spot. That allows Cody Lamas to alleviate some of the pressure off of him as far as the battle for the lead. Kenny McCurry was able to get by Bob Jones, though. George Roke just moved into 6th, bypassing Emilio Navarrete. And we ended up having in the Truck Series race only one caution flag that took out 2 drivers. And then we went clean and green all the way to the end, and it came down to pit stops in the final stages. Question is, will that happen here tonight? Now, I believe these drivers can make it about 20-21 laps on pit stops. They ended up pitting back on lap number 9, which means they will have to probably pit one more time if this thing does go green flag all the way to the end, somewhere between laps 30 and 32. So you can bet that the crew chiefs are down there on pit road working the calculators feverishly. Texas Instruments, no pun intended, DLB Texas Instruments getting their money's worth tonight. I'm sure lots of calculators were bought at Walmart and Target and other surrounding stores, so that way they can come up with the best strategy of which lap to come down and make that final pit stop if and when it needs to be done. And look at Austin LaPlante. Talk about taking advantage of the situation. LaPlante, currently the points leader because of where he's running and where James McCloud is running. He wants to win this race. He wants to pick up his 2nd win of the season. He wants to be up there in the title hunt, and he is underneath of Emilio Navarrete, taking away the 3rd position now, right behind in the tire tracks of Cole Daly, and now he's going to bypass Daly looking for 2nd. This is exactly what LaPlante needs to do tonight to try and challenge James McCloud, who has dominated the Mobil1 Cup Series chase standings really since the beginning of the chase. It was the James and James show, McCloud versus Silver Fox. Silver Fox now has lost second place in standings to Austin LaPlante, and as he has lost second, McCloud has begun to pull away in the current standings, but LaPlante wants to do something about that. He's currently in second. Where is McCloud currently running? He's still back in the 37th position, back here with Silver Fox. So right now, 34 points back. That would mean that he is 14 points back from Austin LaPlante in the current standings. McCloud apparently up to speed. He's just not picking up positions. We'll have to see what kind of strategy he and Silver Fox's team maybe have planned when and if these green flag pit stops are going to take place. Cody Lamas still up in front. Well, not anymore. Austin LaPlante, a man on a mission. He goes to the front. Trent Dunham now moves into second, Gum into third, but LaPlante, he came in with one goal and one goal only. That was to take the points lead, win the race, and get himself up in the hunt with 2 races remaining in this season's chase. I'm trying to remember where Austin LaPlante actually went to victory lane in his first win of the season. And if I remember correctly, I think it was Kentucky. Seems like I remember that was where it was. I may be incorrect in that assumption, but I think it was Kentucky Speedway where LaPlante went to victory lane. Certainly a far cry from Texas Motor Speedway. Both tracks completely dissimilar from each other, but LaPlante doesn't seem to mind. He has got himself one strong car, and he's trying to lead this whole entire thing if he can. But here comes Carson Gum to the inside. Now here's the interesting thing. Austin LaPlante is going to start losing positions. The question is, how many positions will he lose? Will he slip back to the area where James McCloud is? If he does, that puts James McCloud back in the driver's seat. Charles Sanford, though, he's going to go down to the bottom. He's going to take the top position, as he's going to lead a lap here tonight. Eric Burton right behind him. George Roque behind him. And then Daniel Voiles and Sean Galligan. We haven't talked about either of those drivers really tonight. Zach Flickinger as well up there in the top 10 now. Sean Galligan pretty much tonight the long shot as far as trying to get up their battle for the championship. And he comes in fourth in the standings. That shows you how spread out the point standings really are coming into this evening's race. Let's find Austin LaPlante here, as Eric Burton's currently the leader. Has LaPlante been able to find the inside line yet? No, he hasn't. He's still caught there on the outside line. But the good news for him is one driver who has not yet been able to find the inside line as well is James McCloud. Here he is, still at the tail end of the field in the 33rd position. Now, right now, with where he's running, LaPlante, in order to still be the points leader, would have to be running in 13th or better. And I don't think LaPlante is currently running inside the top 15. Well, maybe he is. He was 9th last time around. Let's see where he crosses this time. Just barely beat Zach Rogers at the line and is scored in the 12th position. So he's only about 1 or 2 points ahead of James McCloud now in the current live standings. He's got to get himself back to the inside line pronto, because we're getting close to the closing stages of this race. 3 wide for second. Navarrete to the inside of Flickinger and Galligan, as Eric Burton is the current leader here in the number 54 out of Kyle Busch Motorsports. Oh, here comes Navarrete. He got a nice run there out of the middle of the front straightaway, and he will get to the inside. Navarrete with a lot of momentum right now, especially with the fact he's heading into a track that he won earlier on this season at Talladega Super Speedway. These drivers got to be on pins and needles right now, trying to set themselves up for where they want to be on the racetrack when they make those green flag pit stops, as Flickinger now goes down to the inside. Limited numbers of races for the 18 machine as far as that driver is concerned, but he's been up front just about every single week. These drivers, as I said, going to have to pit on lap 30 to 32 in the closing stages of this race with about 2 laps to go. When will they make those pit stops? Where will they be on the racetrack when they make those pit stops? Or will somebody try and gamble it? Will they try and go all the way to be able to pick up the win here tonight, try and stretch the fuel? If somebody does that, it could be the ultimate risk-reward. If they were one of these non-chasers, if I would be one of those non-chasers, I would definitely do it. But wait a minute, they won't have to worry about it. The caution's out. They'll be pitting under caution. Caution flag waves for the second time this evening. Just when green flag pit stops were going to happen, smoke on the front straightaway, the yellow flag is waving, and this changes everything. Daniel Voiles is going to be the leader under the caution flag, our second caution of the evening. And now everything, all pit strategy, will be thrown out the window. Whoa, somebody's spinning in the back. I just heard some tires screeching. I think it was Charles Sanford got spun around. George Roca also got spun. That wasn't the caution, though. The caution looks like it was for Jake Rogers in the 19. Yep, Jake Rogers, I believe, is the reason the caution came out. Carson Gumb's got a little bit of damage as well. Now we got to see who's going to make pit stops. Hester's coming to pit road. Who else? Nobody else? Tyson Broad's coming. Everybody else. Dylan Poteet's coming to pit road. Deanna Shelton's coming. Bob Jones is coming. Here comes Sanford, Mason, Kenny McCurry, Danny Wells, Henley, Wolfgang Mason, and Carson Gum. But everybody else is going to stay out. Apparently everybody else is going to stretch it, try and conserve fuel under this caution flag, a benefit the Truck Series drivers did not have last night. These drivers are going to have the opportunity to shut their cars off, conserve as much fuel as they can before we go back to green flag racing, which we will do with either a green-white checkered or a one-lap shootout, one or the other. But nonetheless, caution flag is out. Let's look back and see what happened to Jake Rogers to put us under our second caution of the evening. Well, here's a look at it, and the points leader, James McCloud, was right up around this, too. Look at this, almost 4 wide. They actually were 4 wide, coming off of 4 there with Danny Wells, Trent Dunham, Carson Gum, Charles Sanford. That is not going to work. Let's see where the initial contact is going to begin. Right there. Yep. Trent Dunham makes contact with Danny Wells. Sanford makes contact with Carson Gum. And up into the wall they go, and Jake Rogers has nowhere to go. Ralph Mason going to get a piece of that as well there in the certaintied Pontiac. And Henley, wow, nice miss by him. Megan Atkins goes through the grass. Henley goes all the way up to the high side, almost was scraping the wall. But again, it looks like... Whoa! Oh, Kyle Corbett runs into Jake Rogers. I was just about to say, it looks like that we had another few cars spin, but then they were able to immediately drive away. But Corbett's going to get a piece of that. And I saw Alex May, Isaac Canepa, all those drivers, Trek Togger, they were quite a ways back. I don't know if they actually maybe made some pit stops or something under that green flag run. If they did, they may be good to go on fuel, but we know some other drivers did come down pit road as well. So we'll jump back now, take a look at what's going to happen here in the closing stages of tonight's O'Reilly Auto Parts 300 at Texas Motor Speedway. The ultimate risk-reward here tonight at Texas Motor Speedway. Buckle up tight, get ready for a rodeo like never before. Green-white checker are going to finish off this evening's race, and we don't know if all these leaders can make it the rest of the way on fuel. We've been trying to tap into the driver, crew, chief radio communications to find out if they can make it. We know some drivers can because they did come down pit road under this caution, but a majority of the drivers decided to stay out, stretch it, and risk it. Daniel Voiles is the leader, Charles Jackson second, Richard Johnson third, Anthony McCurry fourth, and fifth now is Nick Muciola. William Duncan sixth, Cody Lama seventh, Flickinger in eighth, ninth is Cole Daly, and Joshua Collard is going to be in 10th. There's Galligan, 15th, didn't come to pit road. LaPlante, 17th, didn't come to pit road. McCloud now up to 19th, didn't come to pit road. There's Silver Fox, 24th, didn't come to pit road. These drivers did come to pit road. I believe the first of the drivers that did come down pit road was that car, Jordan Hester, back in the 28th position. All these other drivers, as I file through here, you look at them, they are good to go on fuel, as we know of. These drivers up here, though, we do not know of. Green, white checker, ready to be waved. Here we go. Who is going to be able to have enough fuel to make it the rest of the way? Daniel Voiles gets us back underway. Green flag is out. Next time around it's the white flag. If the caution comes out, the race is over, and it looks like one of the cars was out of fuel. That was Anthony McCurry. McCurry out of fuel as he comes to the green flag. Muciola's out of fuel. Daniel Day gets spun. That's going to be a caution. Big wreck. Big wreck. Dylan Poteet, Megan Atkins. Who's the leader? It's Charles Jackson. Jackson's the leader. Coming to the white flag, Charles Jackson is the leader. And the white flag is displayed along with the caution. Silver Fox, Jake Rogers, they're littering the front straightaway. And Jackson appears to still have enough fuel. Now the caution flag is out. Jackson has to make it around here to the caution and the checkered flag. One car smoking there on the inside. A lot of cars wrecked here on the front straightaway after Anthony McCurry ran out of fuel and everybody backed up. Can Jackson milk it to the start-finish line? hasn't gone to victory lane since Daytona earlier on this season. Wait a minute. Is Charles Jackson thinking of coming to pit road? He is coming to pit road. Wait a minute. So wait, who would be the leader? Is it Sanford? Yes, it would be Sanford. But Sanford looks like he's coming to pit road. Wait a doggone minute. Who's the leader? Charles Jackson's the leader. Sanford second. Wait, someone stayed out. Someone did stay out. It was Canepa. Canepa stayed out. Is he going to win this thing under caution? I think he is. Wait a minute. Did Jackson cross the start-finish line? No! Canepa's the leader. He just took the checkers. Isaac Canepa, who started dead last tonight, just took the checkered flag. Oh my goodness. I don't really know where Charles Jackson was on pit road, but he apparently did not cross the start-finish line before Isaac Canepa did. And Canepa is going to pick up his first Mobil1 Cup Series win of his career, his first NNSCRA victory of his career, and take the checkers tonight in the O'Reilly Auto Parts 300. Talk about going from first to last. He started 42nd. He wins this evening's race under the caution flag. Oh my goodness gracious sakes alive. I've never ever seen something like that happen here at Texas. And this all happened as a result of a caution with cars running out of fuel in the closing stages. Who even finished top 10? I don't know. We gotta find out. Canepa's gonna finish with a win. Kenny McCrory, you see him right behind. He's gonna get second. Third place scored will be Sean Henley. Charles Jackson, who was leading coming to the white flag, he'll be fourth. Tyson Broad fifth. Sixth was Sanford, seventh was Hester, eighth was Danny Wells, Emilio Navarrete in ninth, and Daniel Voiles will be in 10th place. That is your official top 10, and I couldn't have called that top 10, even with one lap to go. Unbelievable. Well, we know that Texas Motor Speedway has had quite an outcome in the finish of this evening's race. There's no doubt about that. Let's see what it's done as far as the points, though. Let's find out where the rest of our chasers finished, especially McCloud, LaPlante, Silver Fox, and Galligan. The rest of our chasers, let's find out where they all finished this evening's race. Galligan is going to finish this evening in position number 16. Looking further down, Trent Dunham finishes 23rd, Collard in 24th, Megan Atkins, Dylan Young actually was 26th, I can't forget him, 27th was Megan Atkins, and then James McCloud actually finishes one position ahead of Austin LaPlante tonight. 28th place for McCloud. LaPlante finishes 29th, which means instead of cutting into James McCloud's points lead, the points lead is going to grow by a point. 21-point advantage for James McCloud heading next week at Talladega Super Speedway. Let's find out the rest of the drivers where they finished after that wreck that took place. There were quite a few drivers involved. Dylan Pote was actually one of them. He'll finish 39th. James Silver Fox was probably involved as well. He'll finish in 40th place. So a tough break for Silver Fox. That may be his exit from the championship picture. I don't know. It'll all depend on what the points look like heading into next week's race. But I thought maybe, just maybe tonight, Texas Motor Speedway was going to take and move the points all close up together again. Doesn't look like it's going to be the case. Looks like the points are going to stay as spread out as ever heading into our final two races of the season. We still got a Snickers Cup Series race to come. It'll be interesting to see what happens there, as the points, as I understand, are very, very close over in that series as well. But this evening's race goes amazingly enough to Isaac Canepa. What an unbelievable way to pick up your first career victory here in the NNSCRA on a wreck on the final lap and on fuel strategy. Unbelievable win. The Texas fan's going to go home happy with an exciting finish here tonight. And Isaac Canepa celebrating now in victory lane. Hope you guys enjoyed this race. If you did, be sure to give a like, subscribe to Cars Crew today. Here comes your official finisher results, overall point standings, rookie points, and chase points heading into next week's event at Talladega Super Speedway. You've been watching a production of the NCRA, offline racing at its best. they come off the final corner. And oh, one of them was John Cittadino, the leader! Cittadino, the pole sitter. There goes Madison Saber off. There goes Ralph Mason, second in points off. Oh my goodness.